Well, here we be. Glad to see you. The pandemic is going on. Everybody hunkered. Well, finally, a few days back, I was able to get out because our vinyl store, the one I go to here in Sin City, opened up, Record City. Leon, the little fella that's been in there for years, this most friendly, wonderful guy, friend of ours. And we went in and saw him and picked up a few goodies. I'll show some of the special stuff later. I had so much stuff. Got, I think, well over 80 pieces there that I want to take some time and do it in several segments. If you're into vinyl, you'll enjoy maybe watching me do my descriptions here, whether some of it's right or wrong, but I tend to know a little bit about this and that. The other thing is, if you're not into that, see ya. Thanks for stopping by. So, first off, let's look at some of the stuff that we did discover there. And this one, I've always liked these guys, Jan and Dean. This is a live album. Where was it? Oh, at the Tammy Show. You know, if you're a big record connoisseur or music connoisseur, you remember Tammy, the Teenage Show, was recorded at Santa Monica Civic Auditorium back in the early 60s. And boy, did they have acts there. I mean, huge people. And Jan and Dean, of course, some of the local guys who showed up. And this, of course, Let the Good Times Roll. It's a big double album with a lot of people. It's on the Bell label. And I believe these were all originals. Got Little Richard, Shirelles, Bo Diddley, Fats, Danny and the Juniors, Coasters. I mean, tons of people with some good old rock and roll for you. By the way, each of these, $1. That was it. $1. I like some older stuff too. This is Mercer and Ellington together. This is a real oldie. This guy is for Decca. Can I find a year on here? This would be the early 50s, obviously. It is actually in stereo, so maybe more mid-50s on the Corral label. That was Decca's other label. And by the way, it is mint. I don't think it's hardly ever been played. And that makes it, what, 60, 70 years old? Dang. This is a dynamite guy. Wonderful jazz musician, soft, mellow sounds. George Shearing. And he also did a lot of commercial type albums. This, of course, with the gal he was working with, Dakota Station. This is a series of albums they did on Capitol. This is called In the Night, this one. Rags to Riches. I'm Confessing That I Love You. I Hear Music. It's old, but look, almost mint. Oh, by the way, it was owned by Mrs. Paul Friedman in Brooklyn, New York. Her name's on there. Lord knows how we got that, huh? This was interesting. Major and Minor Learn How to Improvise Jazz. It's an album, and there's a book there. And if you're into music and everything, B flat major, C major, F major, shows how to do jazz renditions. And interesting little presentation for $1. $1. This one's pretty cool. Arthur Prysock. God, I loved him. He was a good, deep, rich singer. Really good tunes. This is on Old Town Records. Never heard of them. I don't know who that was a division of, if it was, but this is mint. Brand new. Arthur Prysock. This was from 1974, because it says right there, 74. Wow, what a team here. I used to live less than a mile away from one of these guys, and that would be, can you guess? No, not Doc, but Henry Mancini. I'd ride my bicycle when I was a kid in Northridge, California. If you know the area out by the college there in Northridge. Lindley and Nordhoff, he lived a block or two away from that corner, an area called Sherwood Forest. A lot of upscale people. On that block next to him, right next door was Ed Reimers, the good hand guy, remember, Allstate. Right next door to him was Pat Buttram, drove Nellie Bell to Beach, member of the original Sons of Pioneers. Yes, Roy Rogers fame. And then one block down was Mr. Haney, yes, from Green Acres. So, I mean, you just never knew who was in town. It was the Valley in those days, Showbiz Central. Anyway, this interesting album, Mancini and Doc together, Brass on Ivory, mint. $1, Record Factory. I shouldn't be telling you where this is, everybody's going to go down there. He was cleaning all this stuff up, and I was one of the first guys to get in there after 2 months and find all this good stuff.